Hi, welcome to another episode of I Can Alteryx That with coaches Alex and John. I'm John. Today we're going to cover Alteryx Weekly Challenge number 209, Parsing Insurance Claims. Right, Alteryx Weekly Challenge 209. This one's parsing insurance data. So the input that we're given here is 6 different pages from a PDF file, where each record here is a separate page from a PDF. So you see we've got a bunch of header information and then the block of values in here. And what we have to do is convert these 6 records into this output of 33 records and 9 columns. So we've got inception date, accident month, lives, claims, and a bunch of other stuff. So looking at one of these records, we see the inception date is right here in the upper left. The text above says your goal is to extract the amounts shown next to each accident month in the block of text under period. And you can see, so each of these will be our accident months. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns there, plus Inception is 9 columns, which matches the output. So I think the easiest way to go about this is let's just throw on a record ID, and we will know what inception month each thing comes from. And I'm going to split this into 2 different streams, one with the inception and one with everything else. Just drag on that filter here. Oh, pardon me, I'm forgetting. You need to split this on each line. So I'll do a new line delimiter. We'll split that out to rows. Okay, so now let's split it, the rows that contain inception and then everything else. So field 1 contains the word inception. Alright, so that's what that looks like. So now we need to write a regular expression to pull out that date. So let's go with parentheses. So it's a D, 2-digit D, dash 2 digits, dash 4 digits. We'll parse that and we'll call this Inception. Alright, and let's just, to clean this up a bit, get rid of the other fields, or the field 1. I didn't get rid of it. Oh. Okay, so there's our inception date. So now we'll go back to the false node of the filter tool. And what I think I want to do here is, let's see. Let's just pull out the records that contain these dates, the month / the year. So we'll use a regular expression tool again. And this will be in parentheses. We've got D2 / D4. Actually, let's match that. Make sure that what we've got is what we want here. No, I need to account for other stuff before and after. So let's just do dot asterisk question. So we'll do a lazy match around all the other stuff. So you see by doing that, we've got trues on our block of text and falses everywhere else. So let's filter out where those are true. All right, that looks good. So let's go ahead. I don't know how many spaces are going to be between each of these items, but I can see since they're all numbers, there's not going to be spaces inside of any of the pieces of information that we care about. So I think the easiest way to go about this would be, let's use a data cleansing tool and remove and check this second option, tabs, line breaks, and duplicate white space. And that's going to put everything up nice and neat against each other with one space in between each column. So by doing that, we can now use a text to columns tool and split it out according to white space, \s. Now I want to split this to rows because I think a step that we're going to do later on will be easier by splitting this to each row. Okay, one thing I noticed, if we go back here, sometimes we have a 1 or a 3 in the beginning. And on the first record, so you say record ID 1, the very first record has this 1. Record ID 2, first record has a 3. Record ID 3 has a 1, and so on. So I think by splitting to rows, we can get rid of the very first record from each record ID to get rid of that extra thing, whatever it actually represents. So to do that, we can use a sample tool. Skip first n rows, and we'll set n to equal 1, and we'll group by record ID. That's going to skip the first row of every record ID value. So now we should have, everything should be good there at this point. So the next step is we need to identify where each row ends. So if we go back here, we can see that each thing has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fields. So let's go ahead and make a multi-row formula to indicate where each header, section of headers ends. So we'll call this header. And we know there's 8, so all we have to do is say if row minus 1 of header equals 8, that's the largest we can have, then 1, else row minus 1 header plus 1. So this is just going to be a count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then repeat. By having this in here, we'll be able to do our crosstab nice and easy. And finally, when we convert these to numbers, Alteryx doesn't like having commas in there. So let's just drop a formula tool. We will update field 1, and we'll do replace field 1, replace commas with nothing. Alright, so now we'll be able to convert those into numbers easily a step or two from now. So we'll go ahead, and now we can crosstab it. So we can group by record ID. Column headers will be our header field, and the values will be field 1, and we'll just take the first, although it shouldn't matter. That's not what I wanted. What did I do wrong there? Well, we also need an ID field for each record ID. So if we go back here, before we parse that out, we should have a row ID for each of these record IDs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for each one of those. And I'll call this row ID, and this one will be even easier. We're going to group by record ID. It'll be row minus 1 of row ID plus 1. And now if we go back here, we'll group by record ID and that row ID field. There we go, that's what I expected, 66. So now, this column 1 here is our accident month, so we need to turn that into a date. Because if we look back up here, accident month is actually a date field. So to do that, let's drop another formula tool onto here. Column 1, actually we'll just make a new column. call it accident month. This will be date, time, parse of the first column. And that is in percent lowercase m slash percent uppercase y format. And now if we were to go ahead and run this, yes, we've got our accident months seem to match perfectly with column 1. So what I'm going to do now is we'll drag a select tool on here, deselect record ID, and actually let's just keep that for now. Deselect column 1, we know we don't need that. So I'm just going to hard code the column headers based on the answer. So we've got number of lives, number of paid claims. Ah, man. Then we've got amount paid before VAT, amount paid after VAT. Then we've got number of OS claims and amount of OS claims before and after VAT. Okay, let's run that. Oh, and one more thing we can do is actually take all of these columns and turn them into a double. And let's run this and make sure that there's no errors or warnings. Okay, that looks good. So now you'll notice that we have 66 records and there's only 33 up here. And that's because for each Inception month and accident month, there's actually 2 records, and we'll see that once we join the 2 together. So let's grab a join tool. Get rid of that. So you can see back up over here, this is record ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here we have our record IDs. So we're just going to join on record IDs. And we should still have 66 records there. So finally, actually let's get rid of, we don't need any of our record IDs anymore, so let's just get rid of all those ID fields. All right, so we've got 9 fields, Inception month, accident month, and so on. So all we have to do now is summarize. So we'll group by Inception and accident month. And we'll sum all of these. And let's get rid of that prefix. Run that. And we may have to sort this. Let's see. Oh, it looks like we don't actually have to sort it. So I don't see any differences between the 2. So it looks like we've got it. There we go. That was a little longer than most of these weekly challenges. I'm sure this could be done much more elegantly, but this is the first solution that came to mind. So there you have it, the solution to Alteryx Weekly Challenge number 209. Thanks for watching. As always, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Data Coach channel for more awesome lessons on Alteryx and all things data analytics and visualization. Follow Data Coach on Twitter at AskTessellation and follow me personally at @JEmery_dataviz. Thanks again.